Peace. What's going on again, everybody? Man, I'm back. Back for round two. Told y'all I'd be right back, man. Had to train a client and now I'm back at it, man. We're gonna keep the content going. We're gonna keep the content going. So I'm gonna give everybody a chance to scroll back on in with your boy. Hopefully everybody had a nice little break, but now we're about to get back to it, about to get back to the knowledge, about to get back to the information. Bonafide, what's going on? Magic Rims, what's going on? Eli, what's going on with you? How y'all living? We about to get back to the information, man. Back to the information. Want to talk about how society has been shaped by this whole coronavirus and what we need to prepare for in regards to the future, because it's a lot of discussion that's going on out here in regards to Nero, what's going on. You got a lot of people thinking, oh, things may never get back to normal and all that type of stuff. Then you have some people saying, okay, no, they see things getting back to normal. So we got to discuss this, man. We got to discuss what the future holds in regards to this whole plandemic, because again, we already know that it was planned. So what does the future hold for us? And it's a lot of things, man, that we need to touch on in regards to that particular question. A lot of people we've talked about, cashless societies. We've talked about just virtual learning. A lot more people working from home and things of that nature. Like, that stuff really needs to be discussed and thought about. Sweet Tea, what's going on? And I most definitely can do that. Eli, no, I did not watch that interview. But it's a lot of things that's changing. And I feel like this was part of the plan for this plandemic. I feel like it was part of the plan, man. So a lot of things are coming into fruition because of this whole plandemic. And a lot of it caught us off guard. But if you would have been looking into the future some years ago, you would have saw that the things that's happening now is the things that we should have been planning for before this whole plandemic even transpired. Like, even with the virtual learning and a lot of the working from home and all of that type of stuff, like, if you would have been really studying, really been studying trends and whatnot about 5 to 10 years ago, you would have already been ahead of that. You would have seen that that's the way the world was going. They just kind of needed a reason to kind of push it a little more aggressively than they were. And this whole pandemic, it did that. Oh, Eli, I'm gonna definitely check that out then. Definitely check that out. So that's one thing I realized that just about 5 to 10 years, about 5 years ago. I realized everything was traveling more toward the virtual route. So I was just embracing that reality more. Like, you got to just find ways to do things on a virtual level. And this was about 5 years ago. Now people are being more so forced to make that transition. All Magic Rims, most definitely. And like I said, it's always a deeper agenda. So they always plan something like this, and they always insert something like this in order to push further an agenda. And I feel like this whole pandemic, it's a lifestyle that they are after. It's a lifestyle that they are trying to cultivate and construct. And I feel like this whole virus was a means to construct that type of society. Like, I feel like that was part of the agenda for this entire virus. Master 2, what's going on with you? I mean, because you always gotta look beyond the surface when things like this happen, man. When the so-called pandemic hits, You always gotta ask the deeper questions, man. You always gotta look beyond the surface and say what's really going on. They just got us focused on the actual virus. They just got us focused on the numbers. How many people are dying from it? How many people are coming down with this virus? See, that's the surface level. We got to look beyond the surface. That's when you really start gathering the proper answers. That's when you really start being able to prepare yourself for what's to come. That's when you start being able to see what's about to come. Travian in Louisiana, what's going on? Like one thing that I started looking into, a lot of people, like I said, they was focused on the virus. They was focusing on how to avoid the virus, how to prevent the virus, how to recover from the virus. See, they was just focused on the virus. But I started focusing on things like, okay, and y'all have heard me talk about this in previous videos, but I started focusing on, okay, they got us staying at home, stay at home orders, people not working out. What is that about to lead to? That's about to lead to a more sedentary society. What is that going to lead to? It's going to lead to a lot more unhealthy people. What is that going to lead to? That's going to lead to a lot more of these unhealthy people populating these hospitals, being hooked on this medication. Again, making that industry a lot more rich than it already is, a lot more wealthy than it already is. So we're going to have sicker people. And those numbers were already skyrocketing. Those numbers were already high. So it's only about to elevate. It's only about to become that much higher when people staying at home. So again, they instilling these bad habits. You already had people that didn't want to get up and exercise, but this plandemic made it that much easier for the people to come up with excuses to not work out, to not exercise. So you just made society a lot more lazier than it already was. And that's me looking beyond the surface. See, like I said, everybody else just focusing on the numbers. They focusing on what's happening on the surface. I'm focusing on the fact that they have just made society that much lazier. Because not only have you made the people who were already lazier, now you done probably made some people who were active. You have made them lazier. I've came across some of them people. They was like, man, they was in a good groove before this pandemic hit, and all of a sudden it just made them lazy and they put on the weight. So it has made society a lot more lazier. A lot more lazier. So that was part of the agenda, man. They have made a lot more lazier, man. So again, just watch the numbers, man. Just watch the diabetes, watch the heart attacks, watch the cancers and all of that. When they give us this vaccine and then those numbers go down, watch how those other numbers spike back up. That's part of the agenda. That's part of the agenda. So we already know the side effects that's going to come with the vaccine, but we also know that they're going to make those numbers go down. But then when those numbers go down, watch cancer, watch diabetes, watch heart disease, watch high blood pressure, watch how all of those numbers just go right back up. Right back up, just drastically. Watch how that happens. Because again, people have been sitting at home, and what have they been doing? People didn't start working from home, and what have they been doing? They've been lazy, been eating up all the wrong foods. They've been lazy and eating up all the wrong foods. It's a bad combination. And for some reason, people think that that's the remedy to protect themselves from this virus. So I'm going to just not exercise, which is making my immune system weaker. And then I'm just going to eat all the wrong foods that I'm not supposed to eat, which is, again, making the immune system a lot weaker. So we need to be focusing on strengthening the immune system. But they're not telling you that you need to get up, you need to move, exercise strengthens the immune system. They won't tell you that. Yeah, Master Two, it's sad me seeing anybody co-signing this vaccine, man. Like I said, we know most of them have been paid off to do that. So then again, you got to ask yourself the question, but we already know the answer to this question, so I don't even focus on it. Why are they pushing this vaccine so hard? Why does it have to be a televised event every time someone injects themselves with the vaccine? That doesn't make any sense, man. So every time somebody of importance feels the need to get this vaccine, it must be televised. That's interesting. That should raise some suspicion within you. Why does it have to be televised? Why do these people have to get on television and show themselves getting a vaccine? Why are they striving so hard to show and prove the effectiveness of a vaccine? It's ridiculous. Oh, bona fide. I can make a video about that and I can show the exercises. So I'll probably try to do that next week sometime. So I can definitely do a video on that. I can just show some exercises that'll be beneficial for that condition. So I can definitely work on doing that next week. That's a video where I feel like I have to demonstrate some of the exercise and some of the movements. So I will definitely do that next week sometime. Montel, peace, what's going on? So again, you always got to ask yourself the deeper question. Like they say, believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Why are they televising all these people getting this vaccine? Why are they televising? Why does it have to be a televised event? I mean, is it really that serious? I don't need to see somebody else get a vaccine. Like, I don't need to see that. But they already know it's called groupthink. So they already know if enough people see some respected individuals getting the vaccine, everybody else will fall in line. So that's groupthink. They manipulating the mind of the group, of the whole. So I already know what they're doing and why they're doing it. So they get enough respected individuals to get this vaccine, and it's televised. All the people gonna follow suit. So we already know what's going on, and most of the people that's probably getting it on television, they probably not actually getting the actual vaccine. So we already know we can't be that gullible, can't be that naive. We can't actually believe that they getting the legit vaccine that the everyday average person will get. So we got to know and understand that. Oh, bona fide, and that's one thing I was discussing. This whole pandemic should have made a lot of people just look within. And the crazy thing about it, one thing that this pandemic, one thing that I realized from this pandemic in regards to just observing people is a lot of people are not comfortable with themselves. So this pandemic, and a lot of people are not comfortable with their children as well, because this pandemic forced a lot of people to kind of stay at home, deal with themselves, deal with their family, deal with their children, whatever the case may be. And I realized a lot of people cannot handle that. A lot of people couldn't handle that. A lot of people was complaining about that. So a lot of people not comfortable with their current situation. And this pandemic proved that. See, when you working all the time, you don't have to deal with what's at home. You don't have to deal with what's at home. A lot of times, most people just go home and they just eat, take a shower, sleep. That's pretty much what people be doing, man, because all the hours that we be putting in for these corporations. So a lot of us don't deal with what's at home for that amount of time, for a lengthy period of time. So when this pandemic hit and it forced a lot of people to stay at home, it forced people to deal with home, deal with what's at home. And I realized a lot of people did not necessarily fool with what they had at home. Oh yeah, magic rims, and I'll talk about that all the time. Y'all know how I feel about y'all know how I feel about the hospitals basically being one of the leading causes of death, medical errors. Terenzo, what's going on? So we already know that they play a role in it. They've been paid off. The higher ups in the medical industry have been instructed. They know what to do. They know what to tell their people to do. Bonafide, most definitely. A lot of people really, when they was forced to deal with their children, because they were forced to be at home, man, a lot of people could not tolerate it. And it's crazy. A lot of people could not tolerate it. I was like, wow, this pandemic has really exposed a lot of people, really exposed a lot of people. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Doctors have a right to kill. And that's one thing in regards to shaping society. That's one thing that we need to realize from this whole pandemic that a lot of people are not realizing. A lot of people are not realizing the fact that we need to really, really take our health into our own hands. I mean, the simple fact that they were slapping us in the face with basically misdiagnosing people. Somebody, you test negative one moment, you test positive the next moment. They throwing this type of stuff in our faces, and we like turning the other cheek towards it. Like at the end of the day, it should be demonstrating that they cannot be trusted. They telling you one thing is a preventative measure the next moment. Then the next second they telling you no, it's not a preventative measure. Then all of a sudden it's a preventative measure again. Too wishy-washy. And they throwing this all in our faces, and we accepting it. We too gullible and naive as a people. Lindell, I've dealt with a few clients that's basically what they were on, man. They can't handle the holidays. They can't handle the discipline. They can't handle the discipline that comes with the healthy lifestyle during the holidays, the temptation, all the unhealthy foods, man. They cannot remain disciplined during this time, during these holidays. And I feel like that's one of the situations where we got to start changing the narrative. We got to start changing the narrative, man. Like, we only following these type of traditions because we have been told to follow these traditions. We need to change what we are consuming on these so-called holidays, man. It ain't nothing stopping you from eating healthier foods on these holidays. We don't have to eat all these unhealthy foods. We only doing that because it's a tradition that we have been taught to follow. That's it. Oh yeah, bona fide domestic abuse definitely went up. Definitely. Oh, Tavon, no doubt, man. There's so many movies, and I forget the names off the top, but it's so many movies, man, that just predict what's going on. What's the one movie, man, as far as like just technology? I think, what was it, Minority Report? I can't remember if that was the actual movie. Let me see, man. But Minority Report, I think that's the movie that I'm referring to or that I'm thinking about. But man, that's a good futuristic movie as well in regards to where society is headed. Yeah, Geostorm is definitely one of them. So that's why I say it's a lot, man. Listen, everything has a message attached to it, man. A lot of people watch things for entertainment. I watch things for education. I watch things to be educated. I always look at these movies and shows and all that with a critical eye. You must do that because, again, they put certain messages in there for a reason because they know we're going to write it off as entertainment. You can't do that. Oh yeah, the Matrix is hands down one of the best films in regards to that. Yeah, the Matrix hands down. But it's a few under the radar movies, man, and I always forget the names of them. Yeah, bona fide, and it's crazy, man. Just the justifications that go on in regards to it being a holiday, like that. I mean, come on, man. We just got to do better. And for the most part, the people who tend to eat bad on the holidays, it's not like they were eating the best before that. So they using the holiday as like a scapegoat, as an excuse to overindulge in foods that they was pretty much eating prior to the holiday. So they wasn't striving to change in the first place. If you was doing good, if you was eating good, then you wouldn't feel guilty. You wouldn't feel guilty on a holiday if you decided to overindulge in some pleasure foods. When you eating good, when you eating clean, for the most part, you can afford to do that. It's the people that's not necessarily eating clean that feels the need to justify why they overindulging in all this toxic food. So when you eating clean and you say, all right, this one day out of the week that I'm a overindulge in some pleasure foods, it's not really going to affect you that bad. Yeah, the day the earth stood still. Yeah, they live. We already, yeah, with Rowdy Piper, man. That, of course, that's a jewel. Of course, that's a good one. Yeah, Bon, if I've been hearing about Soul, I'm gonna actually have to check it out. Yeah, Brent. Hey, video games are some jewels too. Yeah, it'd be a lot of subliminal messages in the video games and cartoons as well. So it's subliminal messaging everywhere. Subliminal messaging is everywhere. And that's why I say you got to look at everything with a critical eye. You always got to look at everything with a critical eye. Because they letting us know, man. They just letting us know how the future is about to unfold. They have been letting us know how this future is going to unfold. They've been letting us know that. Yeah, Nero, I saw that. I saw that. But a lot of people are not overly critical when they are watching these things, man. When they are watching these shows, like I said, we view things as entertainment. Now you got to ask yourself why are they putting this in this movie? They got it from somewhere. Oh, Master Tube, if you talking about Hellraiser, are you talking about the rapper? Because if you are, I've been on him for a minute. I've been rocking with him for like 10 plus years. NFL Malik, what's going on? Trabian, man, I ain't seen Monsters Inc. in a minute. That might be a good analogy. Dizzy Dan, what's going on with you, bro? But like I said, man, a lot of people, man, just don't pay attention, man. Even back when, like, I'm gonna go a step further, man. If I got any wrestling fans on here, man, even wrestling. If y'all remember, even wrestling, they put the subliminal messages in wrestling. Y'all, I know y'all remember Hulk Hogan. What was the NWO and what did that stand for? NWO was New World Order. And I know if you watch wrestling, you know how that faction, you know how they got down. You know how they got down. It was NWO versus the world, man. Y'all saw how they got down. So in wrestling, they was putting this stuff right in our face. They put it right in our face in wrestling. In wrestling, they NWO versus the world. And y'all knew how that faction got down. Y'all knew how powerful and corrupt that faction was. I know you all remember that. Like, it's almost like when I grew up and I started doing the knowledge, I actually couldn't believe that they was throwing that right in our face. But I was a big wrestling fan, man. And when I grew up, I was like, man, they slapped it right in our faces, man. Right in our faces, man. They did. It was a bunch of different things that went on a wrestling level, man, that was just crazy right in our face. Oh, Torenzo, most definitely. I've actually heard that before. I did some knowledge to that. Oh, Jamar, I told you, man, I ain't playing around. We're not playing around with the content. Okay, Master Tube, yeah, just send me that link then. Montel, most definitely, but of course they may not come out and admit that. Oh, AI Matrix, yeah, $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Then you had the corporation. You had, like, when Vince McMahon came out with the whole corporation. Then they had a group go against the corporation. It was like the union, and they was letting you know just how powerful the corporation is. Don't even get me started on, like, the Undertaker, man, because again, that was one of my favorite wrestlers, and his whole, like, ministry of dark, like, just like the symbolism that was going on wrestling, man, right in your face, right in your face. Just right in your face, man. They was throwing it right in our faces. Yeah, Louisiana, no doubt. And I couldn't stand them. I couldn't stand them, actually. I could not stand them. Yeah, Savine, and as they always say, the truth is hidden in plain sight. So they've never had a problem with actually putting the truth in plain sight. That's the best way to hide it. If you want to hide something, just put it in plain sight. You put it in plain sight, people not gonna believe it. People not gonna believe it. Hence, to this day, why people trust the government like that, man, because they put the truth in plain sight. They put the stuff right in front of your face, right in front of your face. So they don't have to hide it. They do not have to hide it. They will put it right in your face, and you're gonna write it off as entertainment, as a joke. You're not gonna write it off as reality, as a truth, or you may write it off as a conspiracy theory. However you want to write it off, man. But when they put it to you in plain sight, you're gonna write it off. And then even back in the day, I learned just to watch C-SPAN. When you watch C-SPAN, that's when they used to congregate, come together, and that's when they used to really build on the agenda that they had for the masses. You watch C-SPAN, man, that little boring channel when they used to be in that boardroom. Bunch of these wealthy people, bunch of these people with some power. They used to come together, congregate, and that's when they used to discuss the agenda, create those rules and regulations, those policies. Magic rims, like, and some of the government projects not even a secret no more. Like, I mean, they can easily just come out and let you know about a government project. And the way the masses are to this day, like, it probably won't even people will not even believe it. People wouldn't even believe it. They can just come out and tell you what the agenda is for the most part. They can literally come out and tell you. They can tell the masses right now, they got us so good that they can come out and just tell us what the agenda is, what they plan on doing, how they plan on killing us, and we wouldn't believe it. We wouldn't believe it. The masses would not believe it. Oh yeah, Jamar. Yeah, Jamar, the boogeyman, man. It used to be wrestling had some interesting characters. But when you really did the knowledge to it, the people that owned, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, what was his name? Ted Turner that owned WCW or whatever. And then Vince McMahon, like, of course, they was connected to these people. They was connected to these corporations. Like, they was in the inner circle. So they was given the agenda. And that's why they put it in the wrestling. So it was like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Melanated multiverse. Yeah, you going to the history, man. We could, man. You going into the history of wrestling. Like I said, that'd be a whole video, man. So it was so much subliminal messaging going on. It's crazy. It's crazy when you really sit down and think about it. Even I remember like the Nation of Domination. Back when that whole movement, man, I used to rock with that. Yeah, Magic Rims, the Truman Show. Yep. Yeah, Louisiana. Of course they created that term, but then they threw it right in our face. They created the term, and then people ran with it. And Master 2, yeah, I can come out, man. I can come out and tell people whatever I want to tell people. Again, they're not gonna believe it. They're not gonna believe it. But it's crazy. They don't believe when you put the truth in plain sight. They write it off, call it a conspiracy theory. But all of these lies that they believe and subscribe to, that's what's crazy. That's what's contradictory about it to me. All these lies that they subscribe to, but when it's something that's blatant and right in your face, now you questioning it. Now all of a sudden you're a critical person, but you caught up in all these other lies and these myths, and you subscribing to all that nonsense. Why? Because again, they gave it to you. They supplied you with this myth. They supplied you with this lie. You will buy that. But then when I'm telling you, look at this truth that they put right in plain sight for you. Just look at it. It's right there in plain sight. Now you want to question it. Now all of a sudden you're a critical and logical person now. Yeah, Tavon, I definitely know about Project Bluebeam and Stargate. Yeah, MK Ultra was crazy. Like I remember when I started doing the knowledge to that, man, and I just talked about all the people that they hired to assassinate people, man, the Oklahoma bombing and all that type of stuff, and how them people was under mind control when they did what they did. A lot of people was looking at me like I was crazy. They was like, nah, what do you mean? I was like, man, that's mind control. That's mind control, man. They hypnotized. I mean, I started studying like military strategies and war tactics, man. And I started doing the knowledge to how they would basically practice the mind control on the soldiers to get them to function the way that they needed to function. The way they needed them to function. That was all mind control. And they was basically able to get them to be killers, get them to do whatever it is that they wanted them to do or needed them to do. They do this same thing on this massive level. So when you see somebody shooting up a school, when you see somebody shooting up a movie theater, you might want to question if mind control was involved, because you can get that person to do anything that you want. And this is not something that's a conspiracy theory. Like, this is an actual fact. You can look up MK Ultra. You can look up these experiments. You can look this type of stuff up, man. So it ain't nothing that's new under the sun. Like, this is all an actual fact and actual reality. This stuff actually exists. They actually do these type of experiments on people, and these experiments are successful. So they can easily manipulate the mind of a person and get them to do something that's crazy, like shoot up a school. So this is not far-fetched, man. Like, this is stuff that actually exists out here. Yeah, AI Matrix, and that's another thing you get labeled. You get labeled paranoid. You get labeled paranoid. I know a lot of intelligent individuals that are on medication right now because they was talking about their phones tapped, the government watching, the FBI tapping the phone, all that type of stuff, and people around them labeled them crazy. And now that led to them being put on the crazy meds, crazy medication, bipolar, schizophrenic. They got put on that type of medication because they were saying things like the government is watching them. FBI, CIA got the phone tapped, stuff like that. And people wouldn't believe them. So a lot of those individuals get placed on meds. They get labeled schizophrenic, bipolar. That's what tends to happen when a person comes out speaking the truth, and they label them paranoid. So you got to watch that. Yeah, son, Kiss the Manchurian Candidate is a good one. I forgot, knew I was forgetting one. That's the good one. Yeah, Jamar, like I said, man, mind control is real simple. It's hypnotism. Like, it's hypnotism as well. It's just hypnotizing that person, man. You can get them to act however you want them to act. So again, if you need somebody to shoot up a school, mind control, hypnotize the mind. And that's exactly what's happening. Melanated multiverse, man. I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised. People don't understand how deep the rabbit hole goes, as they say, in regards to these corporations, man, in regards to these industries and things of that nature. And then what happens to people who try to get out, who start realizing the truth, man, and who striving to get out. It's crazy the things that happen to individuals like that. No, Jamal, I'm gonna do you one even better. So when you talk about when you bring up mind control to people, they call you crazy. They say, no, it ain't no such thing like that. But then these same adults, when they have children, these same adults, they don't want their children listening to certain music. They don't want their children looking up certain things on the internet. They don't want their children in certain environments. Man, that's basically mind control. You don't want your child to listen to certain music. Why? Because you know it influences the mind. So you adhering to mind control right there, subconsciously. So you don't want your children to indulge in certain things because you know how it impacts the mind. So you do believe in mind control. You do know the power of mind control. It's on a subconscious level. It's on a subconscious level. You want to control what it is that your child watches and listens to because of that reason. Because you know how it impacts the mind. You know, if they listen to any and everything and they watch any and everything, that can distort their mind, that can control their mind. So again, people do believe these things. They do it subconsciously. Oh, Magic Rims. I watched a few things on those soldiers, man. I watched a few things on. That's how I know the power of mind control. Melanated multiverse, most definitely. Most definitely. All right. I know that for a fact. Oh yeah, Dizzy, most definitely, no doubt, no doubt. And Tavon, when it comes to things like space, man, we just got to define what we mean by space. We got to define what is meant by space. Nero, I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check that out. Oh yeah, melanated. Yeah, they put you on the meds, and yeah. But they already got the license to kill, so they already got that. They already got that. They already got the green light to do that. Oh, AI Matrix, definitely. A lot of these jobs utilize hypnotizing methods, man. That's how they able to. That's how they able to pimp a lot of us. That's how they able to keep a lot of us enslaved. So I know a lot of these corporations, man, in regards to like marketing and advertising, use hypnotizing techniques and things of that nature, man, and subliminal messaging and all that type of nonsense and good stuff. Enemy of the state is another good one. Yeah, Louisiana, and that's when we start getting into the science of just frequencies and things of that nature, man. The psychological warfare, the biological warfare, a lot of stuff that people don't think is happening. Amber, Peach, what's going on with you? Oh yeah, Dizzy, no doubt. Yeah, definitely. Being a parent is definitely a form of mind control. Yeah, Nero and that's where I feel like a lot of it starts, man. The adults, man, we just lying to these children, we lying to these babies, we lying to these kids. It's contradictory, hypocrisy, and these kids see that. And we wonder why they grow up confused because they see the hypocrisy, they see the contradiction, they see the confusion, they see it. They see it. They bear witness to that reality. They see that you confused. They see that you a hypocrite. They see that you contradicting yourself. And they grow up the same way, so the cycle continues. Oh man, V for Vendetta, good one. That's a good one. That is definitely a good one. V for Vendetta is a good one. Man, I saw that a minute. I saw that like some years ago. That's a good one. That's a good one. I forgot about that one. And Lottie D, drinking hydrogen water. I don't see anything wrong with drinking the hydrogen water, man. Just based off of the research that I've done on hydrogen water, it has its benefits. Yeah, it has its benefits. I heard it was good. It was a good like anti-inflammatory. It was good for that anti-inflammatory. So you drink the hydrogen water, it can help with inflammation, and it can actually help supply you with energy just based off of the things that I've researched. So I don't see a problem with hydrogen water. Melanated, the intimidation methods. That's why when you see people get interrogated by the feds, they tend to use that intimidation method. So again, man, when you just analyze certain things, man, some of the tactics that they use on that level, you can see how mind control exists. Oh, Master Two. It's so many agendas on the television screen. Is crazy. The main agenda is the homosexual agenda. Yeah, the alphabet community probably gonna get in their feelings, but that's the main agenda. The homosexual event. You can't even write a script. If you writing a script and if you striving to get your stuff on TV, you have got to have a homosexual element incorporated within the script, or else they rejecting it. You cannot watch a show without that element within the show. You just can't, you're not gonna find a show. Go find me a show that everybody knows about, that everybody watches, that don't have some type of homosexual element to it. Please go find me a show. I can't name one. Like I cannot name one. So it's like you can't even mention. I remember when I mentioned that community on Facebook. That's the first time I got blocked. I mean, not blocked, but that's the first time I got put in Facebook jail when I mentioned that community. That community has a lot of power. That's who really taking over. That's who really taking over. You say anything negative about that particular community, the alphabet community, it's a problem. You blackballed. You blackballed out here, man. But again, please go find me somewhere where you can watch a television show and they don't include some aspect of that. You cannot find it. You cannot find it. It's to the point now where it's annoying, but then you can't even speak out on it, because what happens when you speak out on it, they start saying crazy things with like where they've been pushing the heterosexual agenda on us for years and nobody said nothing. Listen to how you sound. Listen to how you sound. How they pushing something that's natural. You can't push something that's natural, yo. So it ain't no heterosexual agenda. Heterosexual man and woman, that's the natural way of life. So I can't push anything that's natural on you. So it ain't no agenda behind something that's natural. Like, come on. What type of agenda is being pushed when it's a man and woman on a TV screen with children? That's normal. That's nature. That's natural. So that ain't something that I gotta force people to accept because it is normal. That is the natural order of life. So I don't like how they call that an agenda and say nobody talks about that being pushed on them. Come on, man. It's normal. That's normal. And they get mad when you say that. Their agenda is what's not normal, hence why they have to continue to push it. They got to force us to accept it, so they got to continue to push it. Hence why nobody had a problem with a heterosexual agenda on the television screen, because it's normal. You don't have to force me to accept a man and a woman on a TV screen kissing and stuff like that. I don't have to accept that. It's normal. Like it's normal, man. So that's not something that I have to accept. So it's crazy. So when they get all emotional about that, man, it's like that don't even make any sense and it's counterproductive. You got to force your way of life on me because it's not normal. So you got to force people to accept it. The only way you can do that, you control that media. You got to force feed it on us via the media. So that's why every time you look up, it's something that's homosexual that's going on. Hey, if that's the way y'all want to live, then that's cool. But man, you ain't got to just force it on the world. You ain't got to try to make it look like it's something that's straight normal. Because now they pushing it in a way to where it's not normal. It's forced. You can tell it's forced. I mean, sometimes you will be watching a show or you'll be watching a movie, and the way that they incorporate it, it's like it is just forced. Like they didn't even need to do that. Like I know you all have been watching a show or a movie, and it was just like a homosexual element of that show or movie. It came out of nowhere, to the point where they was writing this script and they realized they had to include that element. So they just forced it in there. They just put it in there somehow. Man, I've been watching a few things like that to where it's like everything's going cool. Then all of a sudden, here you go. All of a sudden, here you go. We just gonna include this element out of nowhere. Here you go. Yeah, pop power, and it was so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary in that show. But again, like I said, when you talk about this, this particular subject, man, a lot of people, if I talked about this heavy, I probably would definitely more than likely get banned, because my views toward that community, not the greatest. Not the greatest. Yeah, Sean, and that, whoo, man, you just struck a nerve with that. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to like, and I've had conversations with these individuals. At the end of the day, it's like I'm trying to tell you, I just don't agree with your lifestyle choice. Don't necessarily mean that I'm saying I hate you. Don't necessarily mean that I'm saying I dislike you. I disagree with a lifestyle choice. And you trying to make it seem like you were born that way. Now you manipulating science. You doing things that's incorrect. I have a problem with that. Just like I have a problem with if you eating pork. I have a problem with that lifestyle choice. I don't believe you should be eating that pork. I disagree with that. Don't necessarily mean I hate you for eating the pork. So I disagree with your lifestyle choice. You may do plenty of other things that I agree with, but you cannot get them to realize that. You cannot get them to understand that. Simply disagree with a lifestyle choice, man. I do not believe that that way of life is something that should be pushed the way that it's being pushed, because again, it's not normal, it's not natural. And that just it is what it is. I mean, literally, it is what it is. Like I don't control nature. Like I don't control what's natural, what's normal. Beautiful Goddess Keys, peace. What's going on? Ricky B, please don't get me started on that, man. Like the whole they were born that way. It grinds my gears because like I know for a fact, man, just based off of experience. I mean, I can talk about this for like 5 hours, man. Like, okay, so these people out here that got 2 or 3 kids, and all of a sudden they waking up saying that now I'm a homosexual. So you was born that way, and they gonna try to justify it by saying, well, I was living a lie. No, you were living your truth at that point in time, man. Something influenced you. Something influenced you, just like something influences us all to transition to that lifestyle. So it's like, man, please stop bringing it to the table and saying that you were born that way. Please stop doing that. Please stop. You mean to tell me at 2 months old, you just already knew? You are as a 2-month-old child, you already knew that you like the same sex. Please, somebody prove that to me, man. Bonafide, most definitely. That's exactly why they're called the stars, man. That's exactly why. So it's like that argument. I just we gotta stop, man. We just gotta stop saying certain things. We gotta stop pushing certain things. Like I said, if that's the lifestyle that you wanna live, and that's the lifestyle that you wanna lead, cool. But please do not try to force an incorrect perspective on the people and try to force us to accept it to the point where when we disagree with it, y'all y'all call us homophobic, homophobia. Like I fear you. I don't fear you. I'm not afraid of you. I don't fear you. I just disagree with your lifestyle choice. That's it. Like that's it. I got plenty of people who I disagree with choices that they make in life, man. So you just in that mix. Oh, Master Two, man, it's crazy, man, because we seeing that percentage rise or increase on the regular. And now with all the like every time you turn on the TV screen, or you know what I'm saying, now you seeing elements of it. So that's just only influencing more and more people. It's only influencing more and more people. That's all that's going on, man. It's hard for you to watch anything without you seeing that, without a child seeing that. Oh, Master Two, it's definitely the thing to do now. It's definitely the thing to come out now. Come out the closet. Come out. So it's like that's the thing to do. So the point where you just embrace being a heterosexual male or woman, then all of a sudden now you the problem. Now we pushing an agenda. I told somebody, this is what I said about, I think I said this about maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I said the way the future is about to work is that when you see man and woman together, heterosexual, that's about to be odd. That's about to be strange. That's about to be the new strange. When you see heterosexual couples, that's about to be the new strange. You about to be in the minority. You about to be the oddball when you walking around here, man and woman. That's about to be odd now. That's about to be odd. That's the way of the future. That's about to be odd. They're gonna be like, man, that's crazy. Or if you haven't experimented with the same sex, like all of this is about to be odd and strange. Like all of you, like even if you heterosexual, you should have at least experimented with the same sex. Like if you haven't done stuff like that, it's about to be about to be odd. You about to be strange. God about spirituality, peace, what's going on? Master Tube, the whole situation is because again, when you look at it on the woman level, it's crazy because the lesbian, one of the lesbian chicks will go after what? She wants basically a woman that acts like a man. So you see it all the time. You see the girly girl, and then you see you see the lesbian, you see the stud as they call them. That makes no sense. So you basically you showing and proving that you actually want a man. You want somebody that acts like a man. You want somebody that acts masculine. I know y'all see it. You see it all the time, man. You will see the girly girl with the stud that look like me. She's sagging. She got the hat on backwards. She got locks like me. She probably work out at the gym, bench press what I'm trying to bench press. Like she doing all that. So it's like, please tell me what sense does that make? And then on the flip side, when you have the homosexual male go after the other homosexual male that acts like a woman. So why would you want somebody to act like something that you're not attracted to? If you're not attracted, if you're not attracted to a woman, if you don't believe you were here to be with a woman, why do you want a man that acts like a woman? Like that's just letting you know the psychology behind what's really going on, man. Like that's letting you know. That's letting you know about it. That's letting you know about it. That don't even make any sense. And AI Matrix, and that's another thing, man. That's another thing too. Like you said, you know how many, and it's crazy, man. You wouldn't even think that this is a reality, but it's crazy how it's like the objective now. And I've heard lesbians say this more so than men, like the homosexual men. I've actually, it's like a mission. See who you can turn out. What does turn out mean? That's basically take the straight victim and turn them into a lesbian or a homosexual, or at least introduce them to the lifestyle. That's basically what turn them out mean. So it's like that's an objective, man. I've seen plenty of lesbians get informed that somebody is straight, somebody is not a lesbian. They say, oh, okay, cool. And that's like when somebody tells, that's like when you married or you in a relationship and you tell that person that's trying to talk to you that you in a relationship or that you married, and they try to talk to you more aggressively. So I've actually seen that happen. You tell that person, lets them know that they not into that type of lifestyle, and that actually makes the person that's a homosexual pursue them more aggressively. Like it's a mission. Objective. Like I have got that person said they not a lesbian, so I got to make sure I got to turn them out. What is that, man? What type of nonsense is that? Rex the Olympian, appreciate the donation. So I've seen some crazy, I've seen some weird things go on like that, and a lot of time you can't even talk about that. You can't even discuss that type of stuff, man. You can't even discuss that type of reality. It's a very sensitive world that we live in today. Like y'all all seen what happened with Dwayne Wade and his son, like whatever, his child. Y'all saw that situation, man. Like I brought up plenty of examples from childhood. I'm like, dude, at that age, you just not able to make that type of decision. You're not able to make that type of decision. And a lot of people got on my case when I said that. I said, man, listen, I was around plenty of young girls that their mothers wouldn't even allow for them to play with their makeup. That's something that's feminine. Makeup. You think you would be proud to see your daughter gravitating towards you? No, that they got labeled fast. They were trying to grow up too fast. So why are we allowing children to come out and say, oh, I'm a homosexual, and then just overdo it? Come on, man. Like that ain't flying in my household. That ain't flying the way that I was raised. Come on, man. We're not making those type of decisions at 11, at 12. Come on, man. Exactly, Master Two. Like at 8 or 9 or at 10, you able to make a decision like that. No, I don't know who I was not raised like that, man. I wasn't making no decisions like that at like 8 or 9 and 10. Like, come on. Oh, melanated, no doubt. And it ain't even about being disrespectful. It's just about disagreeing with something. It's about disagreeing with it. So disagreeing don't necessarily mean I'm gonna disrespect you or I don't respect you. Just I disagree with a lifestyle, and I disagree with why you think you are adhering to that lifestyle. As told by Curly D, and I know that, man, and I can't tell you how many times, it grinds my gears when I see it. This is what grinds my gears. And I already know pretty much the answer to this. But I have seen a lot of situations to where it would be like single mothers, and they would have their son doing some of the most feminine things, egging it on, calling it cute. Like, come on, man, you will have a black, like you will have your young son twerking on a camera for the world to see, calling it cute. You will have this young son 4 or 5 dressed up in female clothing or woman clothes. Can't say female nowadays. That offends people. Well, you can't say nothing nowadays without people getting offended. But you will have this young 4 or 5 year old in woman's clothing calling it cute. Like, man, that is not cute. Like, we need to stop praising that type of behavior and that type of nonsense. I see that all the time, man. They calling that type of nonsense cute. Really? And Dizzy, man, and you got the old school moms. Like, man, them old school moms ain't going for that. You might have got a whooping if you did that, man. You better not be playing around in your sister's clothing, or if you don't do that. Yeah, Bonafide, it definitely enables it, man. But then again, like I said, you can't even, if you speak on that, everybody gets offended. Everybody gets offended. You speak on it, people get offended. Oh, you should allow it. You should allow the children to play with whatever toy. And this is oh my goodness. This is the contradiction. All right. So I've had people come to me and say, well, you should allow the children to play with whatever type of toys they want to play with. If they want to play in the women's clothing, you should allow them to do that because they talked about them being curious and them basically not being able to decipher what's like masculine and what's feminine and things like that. So they saying that the children, they just want to play. So they don't care about what it is that they are playing with, stuff like that. So I said, okay, so these are the same children that you telling me are born a homosexual. So now these same children don't really care about what they play with, but all of a sudden these children were born knowing that they were homosexual. Now that don't even make any sense. Now that doesn't make any sense. now that doesn't make any sense. So in one breath, they born knowing exactly what they are. Then in the second breath, they don't know what they are. So they need to experiment. Therefore, they need to be able to play with all toys so they can experiment and figure themselves out. So one breath, they born and they know exactly what they are. They know exactly what they will be. Then next breath, no, we should allow them to experiment so that they can discover who they are, so that they can discover their identity. Which one is it, man? Are they born already knowing the identity, or do they need to experiment? Come on now. Don't contradict yourself. As told by Curly D, and that's why explanation is critical. When a child asks you a question, don't get mad at them. And that's what tends to happen. What do they hit you with? Because I said so. Do as I say, not as I do type deal. See, that's what tends to happen. When that child asks you a question, break it down to them. If you don't know the answer, figure the answer out with them. That's why I always talk about doing the knowledge, man. Give them the information. Give them the proper information. That is important. Don't just leave them hanging. Don't leave them in the dark. And that's what tends to happen. That's what we tend to do. Educate the children. Please educate all children equally. That's another acronym for peace, man. Educate these children. Jamar, most definitely, man. We all influenced, man. I mean, we all influenced by our upbringing. We all introduced to certain things, man. Again, that's just how it is. And Tavon, even on top of that, things happen. So if you have the child out of wedlock, whatever the case may be, things happen. At the end of the day, we just need to focus on being better individuals. We need to focus on being more educated individuals. When we do that, then everything gonna follow suit or flow from that. So we just need to focus on being better individuals, because there's plenty of people that's out here planning to have children and having them while they are married, and they still toxic. They still trash, man. That's why a lot of these marriages end in divorce. So at the end of the day, if you don't get yourself together, man, if you don't focus on yourself, then it don't matter if you do things while you married or not, because at the end of the day, it still may not work out. So we got to focus on ourselves, man. We got to focus on getting ourselves together. We got to focus on getting ourselves together. That's just a fact. So I don't care whether or not you have a child out of wedlock or whether you married or not. Like, that don't even faze me, because there's plenty of corrupted married people that have been married 3-4 times. So at the end of the day, it's on us. So it's on us to make this stuff work. Busy, damn. I'm waiting on that question. Oh, Jamar, the rainbow gonna follow you wherever you go. That rainbow is gonna follow you wherever you go. And when you speak out against the rainbow, you blackball. You blackball, man. The doors are closing. When you speak out on that community, when you speak out on the rainbow, you blackball. You might as well just give it up. You might as well let the people know that they finna have to support you, because you're not about to be able to do anything in life when you speak out against them. But they can speak out against you. They can talk bad about your kind and your type all night and all day, and that's not gonna cause any problems. That's not gonna cause any problems. It's only a select few people that if you say something about them, you got to issue that apology. You got to issue that public apology. Oh, Nero, most definitely, man. Just people just corrupted, man. They just need to get their minds right. They need to get the mind right. They need to get that mental in check. Oh, AI mate, man, it's definitely a rainbow mafia. That's why I said we got to create a mafia to go against it. We got to create a mafia to go against all these other gangs. Hence why knowledge gang is a thing. Like I said, man, in January, y'all gonna really see knowledge gang come to fruition. So it's really gonna become a mafia. So we gotta counter all this nonsense. Dominique, peace, what's going on? Yeah, so we gonna counter this, man. Like it or not, I don't know if you all get down with it, man, but I like to watch a lot of mob stuff, a lot of stuff dealing with the mafia. I like to watch a lot of that stuff, man. You can learn a lot in regards to how you should be moving out here. Dizzy, damn, that's a hard question to answer, because I don't feel like you can I don't feel like somebody can grow up without any type of influence. But I mean, you just got to ask yourself a question like this in regards to just populating the world. So however you believe everything came into existence, at one point that had to be the reality. At one point, a man had to realize that I had to get with this woman in order for me to populate the world. So at some point that had to have happened. At some point that wasn't known. At some point we had to realize that was the natural way. So it's hard. It's hard for me to answer that question, because I don't believe you can grow up without any type of influence. So in some way, shape, or form, you're gonna be influenced. But to answer that question, if I had to answer it, they gonna go the natural route more times than they would go based on what they find attractive, because to me, they gonna find the natural route attractive. I mean, I didn't really have anybody in my ear. And I'm gonna tell you another example. A reason why I can't say that, because even if you have just by you having a boy or a girl, let's just say it's a father and a mother that gave birth to the boy and the girl. That's already an influence right there, because they about to see mother, they about to see father. And I mean, basically, I wasn't influenced. I wasn't told what to be. I basically saw it. I saw mother, father. That was normal. That was natural. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. And I understood that was how I came into existence. So, I mean, it's hard. It would be hard to not see that. It would be hard to not see that influence. Just by you being born and you seeing a mother and a father, you already influenced. But like I said, we gonna go to the natural route. We gonna go the natural route. Yeah, Master Tube, and I mean, I ain't want to bring up the animals, but I mean that's another example. And again, you have a lot of people. I've had people even go as far as to try to show me homosexual animals. What people don't realize, this is another thing too, when people bring up those type of arguments to me. It's a key word. It's some key words that I use. Natural, normal. Those are key words that we use. So when I say something is like, when we say something is natural, that doesn't mean that you may not be able to find cases that go against that in nature. That's why it will be called abnormal or unnatural. So you can find unnatural things in nature. So when we say something is normal or natural, we are basically speaking mathematically, meaning that that is what happens in most cases. So in 9.5 times out of 10, 95% is likely to go this way. That's what, when we talk about something being normal and natural, that's what we mean. So according to nature, more people will gravitate towards this way of life. Don't mean you won't find people gravitating toward the way of life that opposes that. Yeah, imagine, and that's how you, and again, that's another reason, that's another way that we come up with terms like you got, and then you got to just ask yourself, where did terminology come from? So that's why we have terms called unnatural, terms called abnormal. It's things that go against nature, and you can find those deviations in nature. You can find that. Just like a disease, like that's not normal, because your body doesn't naturally want to destroy itself. That's not normal. But it happens though. It happens when you go against the true nature of your body and what your body needs. When you supply your body with things that it doesn't need, meaning you going against nature, then you get hit with disease. Yeah, Jamar, and that's like any defect, man. That's just like any defect, man. Any type of defect is not normal, it's abnormal. So when you're born with any type of condition that most people are not born with, that's to say it's unnatural, it's abnormal. Melanated, and then we could get to the science of why we feel like some boys are scared to become men. I mean, just look at how society. I got the book called The Effeminization and what is it called, man? Just the effeminization of the black man. So it breaks down the science of that. It breaks down the science of that, man, how they basically have effeminized us to the point now where we don't even know what manhood entails, and we don't even know what manhood is all about. So it's a shame now that we actually got to get back to the forefront, and we actually got to teach what manhood is. What does manhood entail? We actually got to build on that. We actually got to teach people that. We actually got to teach these young sons that, these young men that. Yeah, AI Matrix, man. Like I said, we act like people not born with certain defects and things of that nature, man. It's a defect. You got people born, you got children born with all type of birth defects. It's a defect. It's not normal. Deviation. It's a deviation from what's normal. Like that's all that we saying. When you look outside and you see what people are doing for the most part without having to be instructed to do so, that's normal. That's natural. Dizzy damn, and when it comes to the different ideas of what manhood actually is, that's all fine. That's all fine and dandy. But we again, I feel like even within those different ideas, we can come up with some core principles. Some core principles. So we can easily come up with some core principles. Different ideas is good. That's a fabulous thing. That's how you got some of these religions, man. That's how you got some of these schools of thoughts. It was people that had different opinions about how everything came into play and all these theories, and then they took all these different ideas, they put them together, and they took the best parts from all these ideas. That's all we got to do. That's all we got to do. We got to take all these different ideas, put them out on the table, and take the best part from all these different ideas. Because I mean, that's the way of life, man. They tell you like if 100 people see the same type of car accident, and you ask that 100 people, you ask those 100 people what happened, you're gonna get 100 different responses. I mean, 100 different descriptions in regards to what actually happened, but they all saw the same wreck. So we definitely gonna have different ideas, but that's cool. So that's cool. I'm all for that. That actually will probably make the core principles a lot stronger, because then within that, when we start what's crazy is when we start laying out all these different ideas, we'll start seeing a lot of similarities within some of those different ideas, and we'll start seeing that a lot of us actually view it in a similar light. We just saying things differently, just like religions. A lot of these religions appear to be different on the surface, but they actually the same at the core. So I feel like that's what happened with the ideas for manhood. A lot of us think we have different ideas, but when we really look at them, it's like we really saying the same thing. Yeah, guided by spirituality, and that's another thing too. And what's crazy, that's twofold. That it's a lot of layers to why the father is not in the homes, man. I've seen situations to where the woman basically used the system to her advantage. And I've seen some bitter women try to keep their children, keep the father from their children. And she made it rough. She makes it rough for their father to see their children, see his children. I've seen women do that. Then you just got some dudes that's just deadbeats, but that's not always the case. So a lot of times when this topic gets brought up, a lot of people make it seem as if like dudes are just like deadbeats and whatnot, as if you don't have bitter women out here that's just like actually keeping the children from their fathers for bitter reasons and for bitter purposes, just because the dude didn't want to be with them. So I've seen that. I've seen that. And so that's sick. Melanated, man. The 3/5 of a human, 2/5 is basically the animalistic nature. So that's what it is. Yeah, Dizzy, and I'm with that, man. That's gonna be a whole nother video just talking about what manhood is. Guided by spirituality, and that's correct, and that's sad, but I'm glad that y'all have a better relationship now. As told by Curly D, spiritual predators. I mean, where do you even want to start with that? Where do you even want to start with that? Because that is out here heavy. That is out here heavy, and that's one reason why I don't mix with society well. Like that's one reason why I do not mix with society well at all. Like when it comes to that, man, when it comes to basically the spiritual predators, man, that's just why I can't deal with a lot of people. That's why I can't deal with a lot of people. That's why I choose not to deal with a lot of people. That's why I'm not a social butterfly. Like that's why I'm the way that I am. That's why I preserve all of that energy. I preserve all of that energy, man, because people are drain you. People will drain you like mentally, spiritually, however you want to phrase it. People will drain you on that level, and some will do it intentionally. Most people do that intentionally. So that's why I'm real mindful, man. That's why I choose my associations wisely, man. I don't just go out here mingling with any and everybody. I'm not doing it. Don't do it. Tavon, I've seen situations like that. I've seen situations. I've seen crazy situations. I've seen situations to where the woman lied and made it appear as if lied and made it appear as if the child, like this dude that she was with, was the father of this child, and the truth comes out he ain't even the father type deal. So you have taken care of a child for 7-8 years only to come to find out that the child not even yours. I have seen that happen several times. I got a close friend that happened to. Had this dude believing that this was his daughter for like 6 or 7, and what's crazy, had him believe that this was his daughter, and then told him that the daughter needs a sibling, so the daughter needs a sister or a brother. Then she got pregnant with his actual daughter, her sister. But that whole thing happened because she lied and told this dude that the first daughter was his and it wasn't even his. Like, no, sir. We ain't finna play. We not playing like that. I ain't playing with nobody like that. It's not going down. I'm not playing with nobody like that. Don't play with me like that. Don't have me thinking something is mine and it's not. Like that. That is how situations happen. That's how you end up on Crime Watch and stuff like that. That's how stuff like that happens. As told by Curly D, what you get introduced to that turned everything upside down. Magic Rims, most definitely, man. You gotta pay attention. You gotta pay attention, man. You gotta pay attention. People talk about people being paranoid, but hey, that's how you gotta be. Because when you stay paranoid, like they say, stay dangerous. I say stay paranoid. Because when you stay paranoid, man, you always asking questions and you always looking beyond the surface. So it's gonna be hard for somebody to get something past you when you stay paranoid out here. Basically meaning you just staying alert. So ain't nobody gonna get anything past me. I'm gonna analyze everything, man. I'm analyzing it all. I'm staying alert. I'm staying paranoid. I asked told by Curry, that's crazy. So they put the dark mat. Oh, so they was trying to put a spell on you, or they did. Whoa, Master 2, man, that's gonna happen soon. That's gonna happen soon. I actually got some clients that I trained, man. That they started up. They started up them a YouTube channel, man. I'm gonna get them on here to drop some jewels, man. They got a lot of insight to add, man. They just started up their YouTube channel. I told them I'm gonna get them on here, chop it up with them, but I trained them both. I just a couple that I trained. They just started their YouTube channel, man. I'm gonna get them on here to drop some jewels. But we gonna get her on here. Gonna get on here soon. Yeah, guided by spirituality. Always got to be wise with your decisions. Always choose wisely, move wisely, think wisely, speak wisely. You got to do it. So we always got to move. We always got to move wisely. Always got to move wisely. As told by Curly D, you could definitely shoot that email. Like, matter of fact, I can put the emails in the comment. Yeah, you could definitely do that. But man, y'all, I done got my vent on. This is my second time being on here, man. So hey, we pushing out the content, man. We stay interacting with the people out here. That's something that I'm striving to do. Who else you know streaming multiple times a day? So we got time, we got energy, we got the stamina, we got the endurance. But man, I'm fasting today, man. So I ain't really I ain't really high on energy like I need to be, man. So I'm fasting today. It's the first day of the fast, man. So on the first day of the fast, you tend to be a little lower on the energy. Take about 3 days for you to get the energy up. So right now I'm fasting. So I need to get as much rest as I possibly can. So I think I'm nearing the end of this particular video because it's about that time for me to get that rest. Got to lay it down, man. I advise all of you all to do some fasting this week. Do some fasting. It's a powerful thing. Y'all need to do it. It will reverse a lot of ailments. It will reverse a lot of ailments, man. But I'm doing my fast right now. I may do a 2 to 3 day joint, depending on how I feel. But I definitely need to fast. So I'm about to lay low from a lot of social media, man, and I'm about to just chill on out, get some reading in. It's the best time for you to like do some reading, do some sleeping, man. You're gonna have some powerful and vivid dreams. This is the time to manifest. They talk about superpowers. The time to manifest is when you fasting, because that's when your mind is really clear. That's when your mind is really clear. I'm gonna get into some science behind that, man. But that's when your mind is really clear when you fasting. It's a perfect time to manifest. It's the perfect time to get in tune, because a lot of things will come to the light when you fasting, man. So fasting is a very, very powerful tool in regards to like manifesting. Very powerful. Very powerful, man. So like I said, man, it's just this day one of my fast. I want to talk a lot more about fasting. So I'm gonna do some probably do some more videos on fasting. I know I got like 1 or 2 that I already did, man, but I really need to build on fasting, man, because a lot of people don't understand it. Dizzy, and I'm gonna break the 3 flags down. I'll probably do that in another video. I can break that down in another video for you. Definitely do that. But I'm just right now I'm doing water, and I may hit a smoothie or 2. But for the most part, I try to do the water fast. But I might drink a smoothie today. If I fast tomorrow, it's just gonna be pure water. For the most part, I like to go straight water. And Dizzy, damn, to talk about, I know you mentioned something about type 1 diabetes, and I told you I was gonna do the research. I got a book called Conscious Eating, and he talked about basically putting people on a raw food fast. And he talked about one case of type 1 diabetes being reversed via the raw food fast that he had his clients on. So he was dealing with type 1. He had a few people that were type 1 diabetic. He had a few people that was type 2 diabetic. More people that was type 2 diabetic reversed their condition. I think it was only like 2 people that was type 1. One of them reversed it by doing a raw food fast, and the other one didn't. But their condition improved. So I did some knowledge to that, man. So that's one way that is hope out here to reverse that. But fasting is crucial. Fasting is crucial. However you want to do it, you can do the water, you can do the smoothies, you can do the raw foods. Either one of those, man, it work wonders for you. But right now, I just been on water for the most part, man. I've been on water all day. I made a smoothie. If I do, I'm gonna just hit 1. But rest is important, man, when you fast. And so you always want to fast during a time where you can get an adequate amount of rest. because that's crucial. So that's crucial, man. Anytime I just feel like something is just blocking the flow of my righteous and positive energy, man, it's time for me to fast, man. So when I'm not feeling right, I just fast, man. That's the time for me to refrain. So like I said, I'm gonna do some writing, man. I'm gonna just do some reading, just do some research, do some studying. Just give my digestive system a break. So that's real crucial, man. If y'all wanna join me, y'all can fast tomorrow, man. I'm definitely fasting tomorrow. 24-hour joint with some water, just pure water. Try to get you a gallon in. Try to get you half your body weight in ounces. Yeah, Tryon. And that's when you see in nature, when an animal gets sick, they don't want to eat. They refrain from eating. They rest. Like that's what we need to do. So when you're not feeling right, you rest. Refrain from eating. Eating is only making things worse because your digestive system is working a little too hard because you're probably eating some foods that's hard to break down. You probably improperly combining foods that's hard to break down. So that's taxing your body. That's taxing your digestive system. If you want to truly heal, you got to rest. You got to refrain. You got to fast. Like that's truly the remedy. Well, like I said, man, it's about that time for me, man, to just get some rest in. So if y'all want to join me tomorrow, I'll definitely be fasting for 24 hours tomorrow. It'll be the second day of my fast. So if you want to join me tomorrow, man, go 24 hours straight water. You can do it as easy as light work. It's not hard. You're going to probably spend about 7 or 8 of those hours sleep. Dominique, man, I know how it is, man. When I was reading 50 Cent's book, he said that's where he struggled, getting rest in, getting sleep in. So that's something that I'm striving to improve myself. Today is going to be the day where I improve it. Ricky B, I recommend fasting for any and everything, unless you're striving to legit be a bodybuilder or something. I recommend fasting for any and everything, man. If you try and lean out and get shredded, fasting is the key for that. Like, so it'll definitely help you get toned. It actually preserves your muscle mass when you fast. So it preserves the muscle mass. All right, Master Tube, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, Jay, and that's another thing, man. Listen to the body. When the body is telling you to rest, you listen to it. Don't go against it. Sherwin, appreciate that donation. Yeah, don't go against the grain. Don't go against the body. You got to listen to it. You got to find a way to get that rest in. Your body letting you know that for a reason. So just listen to that body. Oh, Dominique, most definitely. I kill the fast. It's light work to me. I just know how the first few days go. Like the first day, kind of be a little sluggish, but it is what it is, man. I'll make it. I'll survive. So again, y'all, I keep on saying I'm about to leave and I get to venting on other things, man. It's crazy. But hey, I may tap back in with y'all tomorrow, man. Who knows? If I'm feeling good, when I'm feeling good, man, I just stream. When I feel like I got something to say, man, I just go live. I stream. That's just what I do. Like that's just what I do. So if I'm feeling kind of good tomorrow, man, I'll come back on here, man, and chop it up with you all, man. But I definitely got to get this rest. If I say this one more time and stay on here for another 5 minutes, it's crazy. Y'all need to let me know to leave. But I'm about to get off here now, man. Y'all stay easy. If y'all want to join me for the fast tomorrow, definitely do it. If not, make sure you're eating some healthy foods and still getting the proper amount of rest and getting the proper amount of water, all that good stuff. So y'all take it easy, man. Y'all enjoy this Saturday, man. Y'all stay peaceful. Y'all stay centered, stay balanced, stay positive, stay productive. I'm out, y'all. I'm finna get this rest. Peace, y'all.